Billy Slater and his coaching staff will need to go back to the drawing board a little bit for Game 3 after having their pants pulled down in Perth last night. Of course, the loss of Ruben Cotter was enormous, as was a few things that went wrong for them in the game. But they will now look at potentially making any changes for Game 3. As we know, Cameron Munster will race the clock to be fit, and Tom Dearden could come straight in there. But it's in the forwards where Queensland really got dominated last night and may need to look at making a couple of changes. I think there's certainly an argument that says Lindsay Collins starting was a mistake. He was pretty good in Game 1 coming off the bench, lacked a lot of that effort and intensity last night, and Queensland needs something a bit extra at the start. And I think what Pat Carrigan's brought during the first two games is exactly what they need to start the game. So don't be surprised if in Game 3 we see Tino move from lock to prop, Carrigan move from the bench to the starting side, and Lindsay Collins retain his spot back on the bench. The question is, though, do they actually make any personnel changes? And I think there is an argument that one change could be made, and that is Jai Arrow. He only played 27 minutes last night and had very limited impact in the time he was on the field. Meanwhile, Tom Flegler, who's been playing excellently for Brisbane, yes, he does have a penalty in his game, and he certainly has some issues around discipline, but his form for Brisbane since coming back from his last suspension has been superb. He's playing a real bench sort of role, coming in and keeping the intensity that Payne Haas, Patrick Carrigan, and Corey Jensen have been setting in Brisbane. And I think he could potentially carry that across to Origin as a specialist middle third player there, coming off the bench and playing half an hour or 40 minutes or however long Billy Slater needs him to play. And I think on the back of that, it would also free up Jeremiah Nanai to come into the game earlier. He came into the game last night with just 27 minutes to go, where it was virtually a lost cause. And if you make him the sole second rower on the bench, of course, Arrow is a combo forward who can play edge and middle. But if you bring, as I said, if you bring Nanai into the game earlier and let him, I guess, have his way a little bit in attack against tired defenders just before and after half time, make him the sole second rower. As I said, you bring that extra middle forward onto the bench, and Flegler's clearly been in better form than Arrow, so a bit of a no-brainer for mine that potentially one personnel change there is needed for the Maroons.